Hey, according to Zoom, we are live and we are live on YouTube. Yay! Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to this time. Today, we're doing it live on New Light Streaming Love. And if you are seeing this on Sassy C or Sheila, it is a recording. So today is Friday. No, sorry, not Friday, Saturday. Wow, I did type the right day. Saturday, March the 29th, 2025. And the new moon solar eclipse was this morning. Wow, for some reason I wanted to show myself the bottom of this deck, which is simplicity. We're going to take that because I don't normally do that. And as of late, I have really been showing myself the bottom of some of these decks. So that's kind of interesting. Simplicity is the name of that card. It's a 4, which is foundation. And in truth, I like the way that it talks about that because a lot of times uh, in my life, in times past, I could see where I could really use more simplicity, right? And there was a time in my life where um, I don't know why, but things always seemed so much more complicated, right? And much more complicated than it would have to be. What do they call say that acronym KISS? Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. So that's very interesting. And the fact that it's a 4, because if you start out with something simple, you've got somewhere to go. You can build upon. That's kind of interesting. So that was the bottom of the deck. Let's see what the middle. So I hope everyone, I really wanted to try to get up and see. Oh, wow. So I didn't even know that was part of this deck. The Lover's card came out. This is an Oracle deck, but I haven't used it as much. It's the Journey of Love deck. So I'm not real familiar with the cards itself. And even though it says lovers, it looks more like a Gemini card. It puts me in mind of Gemini. And the card number is 57, which is a 3 numerologically. So that's very interesting. However, so did you get up this morning to see the eclipse? Because, well, I guess probably only if you lived in the Eastern time zone or the Atlantic, I think, is even an hour before us. Would have been getting up to see it. Um, I had a bit of I won't say restless, but I did wake up several times in the night last night, and I wondered if it had to do with the energy. And then this morning I saw and was led to record and share the words that Astro Butterfly had to say about the eclipse. And so you'll find that on the channel. I just uploaded it right before I came here. Oh wow, talk about new beginnings. Oh, and this card says love. So that's interesting. It actually, we have the lovers, we have love, we have simplicity. What else are we going to have today? So, did you take a look at the eclipse. It's all about new beginnings. I really liked what Astro Butterfly had to say because I do talk about that a bit on the channel myself about how we can, for me personally, I have seen where I have held things in one way for most of my life. And then now I can reframe it and see it as something different. And that actually can change the way one views the past. Oh, very interesting. The topsy turvets came out. A lot of folks have talked about at Lisa as well. Actually, that young gal that does 13 Moon Tarot that I linked a reading of hers in one of my readings just recently here when I told you I was going to go. Oh, I was going to go and take a look at her reading after mine. She talks about that as well, about reframing things. These are my words, not hers. But writing a letter to your younger self and how that can help things. Divine drunkenness. Surrender to your spiritual reverie. Wow, and that's a very, the colors look very similar there to me. So what sort of theme do we have going on here? That's very interesting. So our final card is going to be from the Surrender deck. Lisa and I met a new friend at our Wise Woman gathering last month, whom came to this month's gathering as well. And so we are going to have her over this afternoon, and I'm really looking forward to spending some more time with her. Surrender procrastination. Boy, this is a big one for me. I don't know if you guys have an issue with that. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. Well, with this astrological eclipse, this solar eclipse being heavily pointing towards new beginnings, as well as what she had to say about Neptune ingressing into Aries, which is the beginning of the zodiac. You really just can't make this stuff up. It really is a good time. And I've been feeling, to create new routines for myself so that I will, begin a health regimen for myself, because that is one of the things that I have, in many ways, the conversation that I had with Crystal Hemphill a couple of weeks ago, and you can find that on both channels, was for me all about, why am I doing this? Why am I putting this off? Why, because I was finding myself procrastinating about things that I know I could do differently that would assist me, right? So I feel like this is good advice. I don't care who you are or what you're doing, right? So I grabbed the hero's journey first, but Journey of Love wants to come out first, actually. We want to see about that simplicity card, because I feel like that's the overall energy of the reading itself. And for me personally, to keep that in mind, to keep it simple, don't make it complicated, that sort of thing, which, hey, I admit I have a tendency to do. So, simplicity. Bow to that which is simple. You will find answers to your most complex questions and those complex issues, and those questions that seem to defy the possibility of an answer. You will find the solution now through simplicity. And could it be as simple as surrendering my procrastination? Could be. Live one day at a time. Have gratitude for whatever you possibly can, even if you are yet to understand why you should be grateful, because you cannot perceive the gift hiding within your struggles quite yet. Well, wow, given what I know for myself about how I would have labeled things in my past as horrific catastrophes that I'd rather not repeat. And now seeing them as the best thing that could ever have happened to me, I would say that could be a very good practice. So I'm going to read that again. Have gratitude for whatever you possibly can, even if you are yet to understand why you should be grateful, because you cannot perceive the gift hiding within your struggles quite yet. Trust in the goodness of life, seeking to serve you into becoming the fullness of all that you are. Yes, beloved, even in your darkest night, the light of love is serving you. The most sophisticated of problems can be resolved through a simple answer: love, trust, have faith, be patient, wait, and you shall see. Let simplicity be. I know when one is in the midst of something, I don't want to hear that. That is not what I want to hear. I want to hear the answer, please. Give me the answer. Trust. Just trust me. That has been me all up and down. But I see the wisdom now in exactly what's being said here. Because that darkness, that dark night of the soul, is part of what it is I had to go through to get to the point that I'm at now. Without it, I wouldn't be the fullness of who I am now. And I rather like the being that I have become. This oracle brings you an answer. Everything is going to be all right. Don't add fuel to the fire and look for ways to sort out complicated matters prematurely. Sometimes ingredients need to cook and percolate so that they can become a meal. The circumstances with which you are struggling will right themselves in time. Stay present and be patient. Pray in your own way. Meditation, time in nature, dance, and literally talk to the divine. When you need to take a clear, simple action, you will feel it. Relax and know it is all going to work out for the best. There is peace for one whose heart is open. And again, I know because I've been there, I understand exactly that sentiment. Well, that's not helping me. I need a blah, 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 blah. A lot of that has been my my attitude, right? Don't tell me to be patient. I don't need being patient. Don't tell me to have faith. I need an answer. But the truth of it is, I mean, I can see it now. I couldn't see it then. And perhaps if I'm describing you, perhaps you can't, but I can tell you there really is more than one way to view every single thing. Every single thing. And, I get, again, there's a part of me that really kind of wonders if it's a function of the fact that I've actually lived this long, that I can turn around and see that some of the things that I held as so tragic in my youth were not tragic at all. They were blessings in disguise. So the next card was Lovers. Yes, it's love. It drives you forward and pulls you back to your heart. It makes the mind mad with misunderstanding and breaks it open into enlightened compassion. It is love. Your yearning heart shall have it. Your destiny is to be the lover of the beloved. This article brings a message of love, love, love. It is finding you now. Be open to it in all its forms. Be the god and goddess of love and paint the town red. Play in passionate embrace with life as your lover and prepare to receive even more than what you believe you are capable of handling. I like that idea. Love is a magic word that holds the universe together. It is both an emotion and something ephemeral that lives like a fire's glow or the pink light on clouds after the sun has set. Wow. The pink light. This entire reading is pointing to love, I would say, in a way that, okay, so we're going to go with, because I just heard it, go with the Alchemy Elementals next, because that card actually is love. And it is on page 101, which really is a 2 or could be considered a 1 as well, because it's a double 1, or it could be considered an 11 too, I guess. Okay. When you draw the love card, you know the card is speaking to your soul's journey in the ways of the heart. The love card is about operating from the heart, leading from the heart, and walking what my ancestors called the pathway of the heart. The pathway of the heart is guided by expansion and flow. It is about connecting authentically from a place of true freedom, true sovereignty, true liberation. Now, what I find very interesting about this is if you haven't taken a read or a listen to Astro Butterfly's writing about the ingress of Neptune, I believe it was Neptune, right? The one that I recorded just the other day that is almost an hour in length. It's all about the next 14 years being about sovereignty and freedom in a completely different way. And so I find it highly interesting that this card's speaking to that. Because with sovereignty, the only way to sovereignty, in my mind, is also self-responsibility. I have to take responsibility for everything about myself. I cannot expect someone else to pick up my slack and remain sovereign. That's not how that works. Once you hand your power over to anyone, you are no longer sovereign. You are then, subject to another because you've allowed that. I have allowed that in my past. Trust, I'm telling you. A lot of people think to love, a lot of people like to think the love card is about their soulmate or their twin flame or some Disney fairy tale happy ever after romance kind of thing. I often think that sometimes when it's like I could feel that from some who have listened to me whenever this has always been about me with me on every single level. It's all about the the little ego me and the larger heart-based me, the the more expansive me. They are one and the same and yet not, because one part of me, the ego-based consciousness, has been programmed since birth, that personality. But there's a larger portion of me, the heart-based consciousness, and they both reside, or the ego pushes that heart-based consciousness out a lot. And so all these last 8 years of my entire existence is allowing or helping in some ways release that ego-based consciousness that the personality wants to drive the vehicle, and invite that larger portion of me in. And that's what this is referring to. The lover, the ego-based, and the beloved, the heart-based. So a lot of people like to think the love card is about their soulmate or their twin flame or some Disney fairy tale happily ever after romance kind of thing. Except that's all matrix programming that tries to convince people that love is something outside of themselves. Yes, I feel like that's true, that they have to chase, that they have to cling to, and that they have to jump through hoops to obtain and earn and keep and be worthy of. That's why a lot of, in my estimation and my experience, folks who read tarot get real tired of folks who are, that's all they want to hear about. When am I going to meet my soulmate? My other half. Your other half is also you, not something outside of you. Meet that other portion of you first. Trust me, after 28 and a half years of marriage, and I realized that I never knew my own self, how could I enter into a relationship with somebody else? Yeah, this is false. And this is a trap that has nothing to do with love or the pathway of the heart. The pathway of the heart is about being fully expressed and fully experienced and allowing others to be fully expressed and fully experienced without rules or regulations or restrictions or judgment or preference or expectation or hesitation or constriction. How many relationships do you know where the partners are at odds with each other rather than being fully accepting of the other and their experience and expression into creation? I know of only one that I have witnessed. Only one. And I happen to live with that couple. Doesn't mean it's all bed of roses now. Don't get me wrong. But they both are aware that this is the path. This theme is about loving for the sake of loving because you are love. Wow. I really do feel like we're entering a time now where more and more folks are going to really begin to understand the truth of that sentiment, right? And it, again, not everyone has come here to experience that, so we also need to be aware of that. Clearly, my ex had no interest in even introducing himself to his higher self. There was no interest in it. And it's not for me to say you have to do that. No, no, not if I really love him. Not at all. I have to be willing to say, okay, I get it. You know, you get to experience life how you want to experience life, and I get to experience life how I want to experience life. And that's just the way it is. It's not easy, it's difficult, but that is what I feel like, for me anyway, is the real true statement of it. So the next card is from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle, and it's Divine Drunkenness. Surrender to your spiritual reverie. So it says, there's a quote here from Rumi: I am so drunk, I have lost the way in and the way out. I have lost the earth, the moon, and the sky. Don't put another cup of wine in my hand. Pour it in my mouth. Rumi. The message for this card is you have said yes to becoming all you can be. Yes to becoming your best self. And yes to contributing to the world by remembering your dreams, sharing your gifts and talents. It seems the universe heard you and is responding in kind. Instead of panicking at the loss of who you thought you were, celebrate your gain. Oh, that's what I'm doing. By releasing who you were, you have created space to explore the infinite possibilities of who you shall become. Your divine disorientation is due to the disappearance of the self you've come to know over all these years. Wow, that seems like a direct answer to what I just said about the conversation that myself and Crystal Hemphill had. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, that is on the channel. Wow. Hmm. Take heart, knowing the sacred storm taking place within is part of your apotheosis. You are experiencing elevation from where you've been to the human you were born to be. The rearranging of cells, molecules, atoms, electrons, and quantum material that holds you together is a wild party. Call it good and revel in divine oblivion. I think that's true. And sometimes it looks like illness. At least it has for me. And I know for a fact it has for my housemate, Lisa, because of this rearranging of cells, electrons, atoms, molecules, and quantum material. Because I feel as though not only are we moving through an expansion of consciousness on the planet, but in order for that consciousness to fully enter the human vessel, the vessel has to change as well. The Earth's obviously magnetic field is changing, and the only way we can survive on this earth in a physical form is for the physical form to change as well. And that's going to look and feel a bit messy from time to time. There is a dream symbol associated with this card: intoxication. Being drunk in a dream signifies a desire to drop your inhibitions in love and or spiritual reverie. This dream might come as a message to take a sober look at your life and what you are truly committed to. Consider whether you are checking out or dropping more deeply into life. This dream could be affirming that you are allowing yourself to be drunk on love or on life, or that this is your courageous next step. And there's a mantra associated with this card as well. I am high on life and my rocker with the overwhelming beauty that surrounds me. Wow. Okay. I can't get over this reading today, but I also know, and that's why I feel like the topsy-turvets showed up, because it can look, just like we said, rather messy, and look sometimes can be deceiving. Nothing is as it seems in this realm, man. I'm telling you, nothing, not one single thing is as it seems in this realm. So the topsy-turvets, the key words here are change of viewpoint, fresh looks, new ways of seeing. When life is confusing, the turvets may come to visit you. Nothing draws them like a bit of mental muddle. They don't cause our disarray. We are very good at doing that for ourselves and each other, but they are attracted to it. Confusion is an important stage of growth, and they delight in helping things to grow. They live everywhere. Not only humans need our help and are exceedingly busy. Fortunately, they are quite prolific, so there are quite a lot of them. When the topsy-turvets show up, it indicates that someone needs to look again, to make an effort to see things from a different point of view. It suggests that confusion may exist because we are asking the wrong questions, or perhaps we have made some assumptions that are incorrect, and we have run into a brick wall of the built of those misconceptions. The turvets ask us to back up, to question our assumptions, and to try to see things from the viewpoints of other people involved in our muddle. And you know what I have found for myself? There's a lot of times that, because I've caught myself doing this, I make an assumption about something, and I don't realize I've made an assumption. And that's a really dangerous thing to do, is to make an assumption, to assume that you understand anything that somebody else has going on in their life, or that you even have going on in your own, that you fully grok what's going on, is almost always an assumption. At least that's been my observation so far about myself. And we all know what they say about assuming. Just the word assume makes an ass out of you and me. And the truth of that is that nothing is as it seems. And so I have begun to question myself. What makes me think that's so? Is that based in truth, or is that my understanding or understanding of the thing, whatever it is that I'm looking at the present? And the truth of the matter is, honestly, just because I think that that's what a person means when they say words does not at all mean I'm right. Because I'm basing that on my experiences, on my frame of reference. I have no clue about what another person or another situation. And I've noticed that a lot about a lot of folks. We make assumptions And then we judge based on those assumptions. And quite frankly, how dare we? How dare I? Because just because I think it's one way does not mean that's the truth of it. I don't know. I just think that's a very real thing that we all do, that it would serve us to slow down and ask ourselves, what makes you think you're right about this situation? Even for yourself. I've made a lot of assumptions about my own self that I've come later on to see, oh, that wasn't the case at all. They ask us to let go of our attachment to our own point of view, to stop saying ought and should, especially about other people. Most emphatically, they suggest that we start trying to see things as they really are. And again, that can only be through your own perception and perspective and your own experiential filter. And it may not be exactly the right thing. I already read that. This card is a warning that someone involved in the question or issue at hand is mentally upside down or possibly sideways. In a reading, the Turvets suggest that things need to be looked at from another angle. We need to back off from our emotional entanglement and look anew. Much of the apparent confusion about the issue is caused by a faulty point of view. Get the opinions of honest others and then relook at your own. Defensiveness and denial may be causing much difficulty. Try imagining that you are looking at the situation from the point of view of each of the others involved. And that's really difficult to do since we don't know how they actually might see it, because we have no clue as to what their experiences have been. We might know a little bit about them, but again, through our own frame of reference. If the Turvet card turns up and another point of view does not readily suggest itself, it may be useful to draw another card. Remember to pause to listen for hints from the Turvets themselves. They are experts in the field. Wow, this really has been a great reading for me today. I hope that you received something from it. If you found yourself here, drawn here either live or seeing this later, whether it be here on New Light Streaming Love or as a recording on Sassy Seer Sheila, I hope that there was something here for you. Well, it depends this afternoon as to what we have going on, because as I said, I have company coming today, and if everything goes well and the energy holds, I definitely will be doing a live intuitive hangout session tonight. If it doesn't happen tonight, I'm going to do it tomorrow, but I'm going to do it in the afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to do it on Sassy Seer Sheila because I haven't done it over there for a while. So if you're not subscribed over there, I highly recommend that you do so, or be looking out for it around the afternoon hour. I'm not exactly sure when, but it will be in the afternoon, so that I can beat the energy. Oh, I hope that you will move towards that which brings you the highest joy in each moment that presents itself to you. And if you're not finding any joyful things going on, give yourself just a few moments. Try to look at it from a different perspective and see if you can see it a different way. Until we meet again, be well, my friends.